probably saw the, feature list go by really fast in the introductory movie, and you're going, what is that? What are they doing? And there was maybe something in there that you noticed that might strike a little bit of interest. So what do we have here? We've got a feature summary, and we're going to talk about all this stuff. So I'll just get right into it. Garrisons. What the hell are those? All right, so what is a garrison? Garrison is the ability for you to build your own base on Draenor. So, that's right. This is the World of Warcraft version of housing. Woo! This isn't a cottage in a faraway instance corner that doesn't actually exist in the world. This is your ability to actually build a base, almost as you do in the RTS games, in the actual world that you will be able to see as you fly through the zones. You'll be able to see it as you go by it. You'll be able to invite your friends to come and see it if they want to. We'll even give you reasons to trade resources, stuff like that. But this is a full-on base. You're going to collect followers. You're going to send them on missions to do your dirty work. And you'll be able to customize your base. So you're going to be able to decide where do you want to put your armory, where do you want to put your barracks. Do I want to have a mage tower, do I want to have an infirmary, do I want to build the stables, or what profession buildings am I going to build? So you're going to have a lot of different plots, and you're going to be able to pick and choose. You're even going to be able to pick which zone you want your base to be in. So a bunch of the different zones out there. Right on. A lot of the zones throughout Draenor support the ability to build a garrison. So if you decide that you want your garrison to be in the hard zone of Gorgron, then that's what you can decide. If you want it to be in the idyllic Shadowmoon Valley, then that's what you can decide. You get to pick. And finally, you'll even get offline progression. So while you send your followers off on missions, let's say you assemble a group of 10 followers and send them off on a raid, well, that might take a week. And you might come back a week later and see what they got for you. Or you might send some guys off on a dungeon and see what they got for you the next day. Or you might send some guys off on some quests and see what they got for you in a couple of hours. And again, this is integrated directly into the world. This isn't, we use our seamless instancing technology so that, while it is customized to what you have built, you see it from anywhere in the world, and you seamlessly enter it and exit it. There's never any loading screen, nothing like that. It's just out there in the world. And so what do you get for it? Why would I want a garrison? Why would I want to have followers? Well, for one thing, you can get epic gear for your character. That's kind of your core progression in World of Warcraft, is making your character better, and these guys can contribute to it. In addition, you get a piece of land to call your own. Think of this as like the farm times 1,000. You get unique benefits from the buildings in terms of what they do for your followers and the missions that they run. You get limited access to professions you don't even have. So, for example, maybe you only have skinning and engineering on your character. Who would have that wacky combo? But let's say you wanted blacksmithing and something else, and you wanted blacksmithing and access to something in mining. You can do that. In fact, your base, you can even build a mine in your base, and that'll give you access to special mining nodes. You'll get some extra mining nodes that you can go in there and mine every now and then. You can even assign an NPC that has a follower that has the mining skill to that mine, and they can do some of your dirty work for you. So Corey's going to talk a little bit more about exactly how the garrisons work.
So your garrison grows. When you start, it's going to be really small, and you're going to be able to expand it over a number of tiers. And every time you expand it, you're going to get more plots where you can build buildings Tom was talking about earlier. So you can get more bonuses as you grow this stuff. You get to pick which buildings you want. So like we said, you could build an armory over here, put a stable over there. Each of these buildings, though, offers bonuses that are completely different. So there's going to be some choice about what you want to do with that building and which one you think is most important to you. You get to choose the location. This is a key thing that we thought was really huge with the garrison, because Greg could choose to have his garrison maybe in Frostfire. I could maybe have mine in Spires of Iraq. So it's really neat that we don't have to all share the exact same space for our garrison, and you'll be able to move it So maybe at a later point, you've had this garrison in this zone for a few months, you can up and decide to move it to a different place just because you think that's cooler. Your garrison is the point of interaction, though, with all of these followers that you'll be collecting. So you'll be going to the garrison to manage your followers, send them on missions, to do that stuff. So it's really an active place. We're going to really set it up so it feels like if you found a follower, you're going to see that follower walking around in the garrison. You gave him a name, you'll see that name when he's walking around in there. We really want it to feel like it's your place. Going along with that is the concept of monuments and trophies. What this is a way to show off. If you've got this big piece of land here in Draenor, we should let you do some stuff with it. So we're thinking the idea behind this would be monuments could be tied to achievements. So let's say you got the achievement for exploring the entire world. You went into every single zone there is. We could give you a monument per se that's like maybe like a big globe or something that looks really cool in your garrison that you can show off to other players. Same concept with trophies. Maybe you kill a rare mob out in Draenor somewhere. You kill a chimera or something and you get to bring back its head and mount it in the town hall in your garrison. So let's talk a little bit more about the buildings. The buildings, as we mentioned earlier, there's lots of different buildings to pick from. They come in different sizes and they all offer different unique bonuses. Those bonuses can affect lots of different things in the game. They can give you things in your garrison specifically. They could also do things to your character outside the garrison. Maybe you get a buff when you're not there. And they also do things that make your followers better at the missions they're running. Like an example would maybe be like an infirmary. You can buy an infirmary and it makes it so that the recovery time when your followers get back from a mission is shortened. If that's something you want, you can buy that and you can upgrade it over time. So when you buy that infirmary, it'll start out really small, maybe like a little tent. And over time you can have this choice to upgrade it and increase the bonus as it gets bigger. Now, right now we're talking about doing 3 upgrades on the buildings. When you hit that 3rd upgrade, we wanted to really do something special for it. Let it feel like it's customized to you. And that's what specializations are. A specialization will probably feel similar to your talent tree. So imagine a building and it's got a couple different options on it. When it hits level 3, you can choose one specific option for every building. And those vary as well. Those can be things that maybe the infirmary gives you the option to resurrect out in the world like once per day. You know, someone from your infirmary shows up and reses you. Or maybe it's something specifically for your followers so they can be stronger on a mission. It's just another way that you can customize this place and make it feel like your own. Speaking of making it feel like your own, you got to be able to pick where this stuff goes. So maybe you want to put your mage tower up on the hill in your garrison. Maybe you want to put your mage tower up near the front gate because you think that looks cooler. We're going to let you do that. You're going to get to pick where you want to put the buildings. This variety is really what gives us that customization we're looking for. Here's a look at one of the buildings. This is the inn. This inn in this shot is rank 2. The bonus that the inn is going to give you is the opportunity to find new followers. So the inn has a bar. Lots of people stop by the bar. I hear there's a few at BlizzCon here today also. So you can go to buy this building and you'll get a chance to find a new unique follower every day. This building also comes with a kitchen. That kitchen has a cooking NPC in it. Like Tom mentioned, there's some access to different profession stuff that you can get through the buildings. And of course it has specializations. The specializations on this building give you the chance to kind of hone in on what kind of follower you're looking for. Maybe you need a tank specifically for some of the missions you're running. You can pick that here and the next day you'll have a better chance of finding that type of follower. So here's a look at how the buildings upgrade. This is a huge undertaking. There's a massive amount of art that goes along with all the gameplay that's built into this system. Each building has unique art like this that upgrades over time with it, both the interiors and the exteriors. Speaking of interiors, that's a look at the barracks from the outside, and this is the inside, so you can just kind of get a feel for the level of detail we have in this stuff. Now this is a look at a work in progress UI of how we would see people interacting with the garrison. So on the left there you can see your buildings. So you can pick a building and just drag it over to a slot. The plots themselves come in 3 sizes, so you just match up the building with that size. Pay the currency cost that it'll be to build it, and off you go. Anyone that's seen the pet stuff is pretty similar. This is a video showing the garrison upgrading. So before you ask, yes, there is separate art for Alliance and Horde. Horde will get their own complete, unique set of buildings and have their own look. So once you have your garrison, you need to fill it with followers. Lots of ways to get followers throughout the world. You can find them and bribe them to join your mission. You can earn faction with them and have them join you. We're going to give them out in a lot of different ways to get people out into the world. What you do with followers is you send them on missions. We have a wide variety of missions they can be sent on. When they run the missions, they earn experience points to help them level up. So they're going to level from 90 to 100, just like you are. Once they max out, you can keep increasing their strength, though, by equipping them with gear, which gives them higher item level. So it doesn't just end when a guy hits 100. He can keep going by increasing his item level after that.
Imagine that.
What a new concept. Now, followers also have abilities and traits. These are the kind of things that you're going to use when you send a follower out on a mission. You'll try to match up your abilities and traits with the things that are on that mission so they can have an advantage. And of course, they also come with quality. So anyone that's used to the pet system kind of understands that concept where you can find a common, you can find a rare, you can find an epic. Same concept here. And of course, you could customize them with names. So if you want to name your guy Johnny McCool, you can name him Johnny McCool, and that's what he'll be like in the game. Anyone that comes to your garrison will see that guy named that. So this is a look at another mock-up UI of what it would look like to have a follower. This player is really lucky because he has Oprah Winfrey in his list over there. It's really rad.
I think this guy
So
just
from
became
here-
a new major world NPC.
So over on the right there, you can see his abilities. You can see some of the gear he's equipped with. So this gives you a little bit more detail on a follower. So you send these guys on missions. There's going to be a pretty wide variety of missions you can do. Tom mentioned earlier you could maybe send them on a raid. You could send them to a dungeon, send them on quests. That's all going to be up to you. And what you do is you mix those missions with followers that have the right traits and abilities. It's kind of like a mini game in its own way to match up the right guys so that they're successful on those missions. We also have this concept of specialized missions, and these are unlocked by buildings. So let's use the infirmary as another example. When you buy and place an infirmary, that then gives you the option to run rescue missions. And rescue missions are very unique. Only people with infirmaries can run them, and they'll have different bonuses from other missions. So another way that the buildings that you choose help customize what your garrison is like. Here's a look at the mission screen. So on the left is your followers, on the top is the party, and so you just drag your followers into those slots, and then as you do that, you can see the bonuses that they'll earn on those missions, and then you send them off. And like we mentioned earlier, this works completely offline. So a mission could take hours, it could take days, it all just depends on which one you pick to do. But that's not the only feature. There are many, many more, and we're going to have Greg talk to you about some of those.